Forget the Suez Canal. Forget Panama. Right now, in the freezing darkness of the Arctic Ocean, Russia is quietly deploying a weaponized energy grid. They call it the Akademik Lomonosov, but Western experts and Greenpeace, they call it a floating Chernobyl. But here is the terrifying truth. Vladimir Putin is not just building a power station, he is building an ice curtain, a nuclear-powered highway that cuts global shipping times by nearly 50% and secures a multi-trillion-dollar monopoly over the world's most critical resources. The media is distracted by traditional wars, while the real battle for the future of global trade has already been won in the ice. Welcome to the new Cold War. For decades, the Suez Canal was the undisputed king of global trade, but the ice is melting and the northern sea route is opening. A cargo ship traveling from Rotterdam to Yokohama through the Suez covers over 20,000 kilometers, but straight through the Russian Arctic, that drops to just 11,000 kilometers. That is a massive 47% reduction in distance. Ships can slash transit times by up to 40% or use super slow steaming to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in fuel. But there is a catch. This frozen highway is brutal. Standard ships cannot survive it. It requires heavily armored icebreakers and a constant massive energy supply to keep the ports alive in the pitch-black polar night. That's where the Akademik Lomonosov comes in. It's the world's first floating nuclear power plant. 2 pressurized water reactors generating enough electricity to power an entire city, sitting on a barge. But this barge is not a charity project for local towns. It's a state-funded engine designed to unlock the Baimskaya ore zone, a hidden treasure chest containing 23 million tons of copper and 64 million ounces of gold. Russia is using floating nuclear reactors to literally print money from the permafrost. But dominating the Arctic comes with a terrifying risk. Unlike modern land-based reactors shielded by massive concrete domes, this floating plant relies on a compromised confinement system. If a catastrophic meltdown occurs, there's no thick concrete floor to catch the molten core. It could melt straight through the hull and drop directly into the Arctic Ocean. But the real nightmare is the tow. You see, the Akademik Lomonosov has no engines. It's a barge. It has to be dragged across the ocean by tugboats. Every 12 years, this reactor, loaded with highly radioactive spent nuclear fuel, must be towed back through the brutal Arctic storms for maintenance. If a tow line snaps in a hurricane, the barge could drift, crash into the ice, and breach its hull. The marine currents would rapidly disperse the radiation across the globe, a marine meltdown that would make Fukushima look like a localized event. Yet the environmental threat is only a smokescreen for the real endgame, the militarization of the Arctic. Russia has established an anti-access area denial bubble, known as the A2AD zone. They have deployed the Sopka-2 and Resonance-N radar systems, capable of tracking hypersonic targets and stealth aircraft hundreds of miles away. But these massive radar shields require one thing to operate continuously in the freezing cold: absolute, uninterrupted power. Diesel generators freeze, fuel convoys get trapped, but a nuclear reactor, it runs for years. By plugging their military radars directly into these floating nuclear plants, Russia has created an impenetrable electronic shield, an ice curtain. They have secured total informational dominance over the region, denying NATO any element of surprise. The Akademik Lomonosov is not a white elephant, and it's not just a power plant. It's a declaration of sovereignty. While the West debates the ethics of the Arctic, Russia has already electrified it. They have the resources, they have the route, and now they have the nuclear keys to lock the door behind them. If you want to understand the secret wars shaping our future, hit the subscribe button, because the real geopolitical chessboard is hidden in the dark.